fitness and wellness expert, naturopath, and adventure enthusiast Wendie Pett.
And my husband, Todd, is Burner. He's a fundraising guru, men's mentor, and Bible scholar.
And as a couple, we're going to share riveting breakthrough stories from our guests who've experienced the meaning of a changed life.
Our hope is that you will be inspired, equipped, and entertained along your own life journey.
So lean in, listen well. This could be your biggest breakthrough.
Hey there, and welcome to Your Biggest Breakthrough. I'm your host, Wendie Pett.
I'm Todd Isburner, and this is going to be an interesting episode today.
Yes, it is.
No special guests
No.
from the outside world.
No, and no agenda.
This is going to be...
It's a fly by the seat of your pants, get to know you episode.
Potential disaster awaits us.
Or a lot of fun. I don't know. We'll see.
Self-disclosure. Confession is good for the soul, but bad for the reputation. I heard that years ago. So today, we're just, it's a little bit of getting to know you, Wendie.
Oh, yay.
And getting to know me, Todd, if people are.
If you even care. But you know what? Sometimes I think it's important to know who you're listening to and just kind of have a rapport with them. And so we just thought we'd have fun. And maybe you're out for a walk today and you're just wanting something that's a little more lighthearted. This is the show for you today.
If you have no desire whatsoever to learn anything about Wendie or me, then this is your exit cue, like right now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's what that's what Ben says. So
yes, my grandson.
Yeah. He's like, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
When it's time to wrap things up, it's real clear.
Bye-bye.
All right.
All right. So how do we even start this?
Well, I know, Wendie, what's your favorite color?
Oh, stop. That's
lame.
And
lame.
If you don't know that, then you've been hiding under a rock.
It's purple everything. Purple.
Of course, I'm wearing blue today, but purple,
yeah.
Which you can see on YouTube if you're watching. So So yes, this show is on YouTube. It is video as well as audio. So those of you that are just listening, you might want to check us out on YouTube as well.
Yeah, because then you can see the expressions that go back and forth.
Like what are you talking about?
Okay. Well, Wendie, let me ask you this.
Okay, what?
Yeah, I'm just out of the gate because some of these questions we ask our guests on occasion too to find a little bit more.
Yeah.
So who has been the biggest influencer in your life?
Oh, these are like hard questions.
That's a little bigger question than
and
just
this
like
is off the cuff. Like we didn't
favorite color. No, they're right in front of us.
We didn't plan on this. Like I don't know.
No, you don't have a written out answer.
No.
And you don't at this point have a well thought out answer apparently either.
No, that's a hard one because there have been so many that have influenced my life, from my parents.
All right, pick the favorite.
Well, I can't do the favorite because it depends on the season of my life. It depends on that's a tough question.
Okay.
But what I will say is my spiritual father has made a big difference in my life and the season that I was in. I mean, he really helped me turn a huge corner. And so I'm grateful. And he was a big influence in my life and he still is. And gosh, how old is Jerry? 80 something? I shouldn't share that. Oh, sorry, Jerry.
No, what are you doing? That's not very nice.
He's like 60.
No, it is good.
He's wise. He's very wise.
Tremendous wisdom. And God had used him and is continuing to use him in your life in a very powerful way. So it just shows again just the importance of having mentors around us, right?
Yeah, and that's really what he's been. He's a pastor.
He's a pastor to many people.
Yeah, to many. And so a lot of people call him Papa.
Yeah.
And so he's just been a great influencer and planting seeds of truth and hope in so many people's lives. So that's who's
okay.
That's who.
Well,
I mean, Jesus, obviously. Well, you're probably going to say that, aren't you?
Well, I was going to say that, but I think that goes without saying.
Right.
For those who have listened to our show and you do know where we're coming from, the Lord is central in our lives.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about pet peeves.
Well, wait a minute. You just asked me a question.
Oh, you want to ask me the same question?
Well, I think so.
I'm going to have a very similar answer because there have
It's Jerry too?
No, it's not Jerry. No, I'd certainly have to say that my dad was a tremendous influencer, and I can see parts of my dad coming out through me. but I also see equally parts of my mother that comes out of me.
Yes.
And
Like
I'm
when
really
I walk
grateful.
into the room and you
Yeah.
go, oh,
Oh
and
my
you get
goodness. Well,
scared. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I
I live
startle.
here.
I
Do you like
startle.
forget I
Listen
live
to me.
here?
I startle easily
No,
because I'm very focused in my head about all the things that I'm doing
but the
simultaneously.
startling is like your mom, like, oh, oh.
Okay, now I do not sound like that. Okay, I go, oh, all right. So, but
That's funny.
but that's not very nice of you anyhow, because you do it deliberately. You know you do.
No, I
You
don't. I just
sort of
walk in the
just
room.
you appear like out of nowhere. It's just not good. But certainly, dad and mom, big influencers. And then I would say, as far as who got me on the right track in my relationship with the Lord, literally my spiritual conversion. That was Doug Dudgeon,
Mm-hmm.
and Pastor Doug. He explained things to me. He's been my spiritual daddy. And every year on my spiritual birthday, and there have been a few of them now,
There have.
I always call him and I always take him through the story of what happened on that day when I walked into his office as a broken, busted up, messed up person who needed Jesus so badly. And he lovingly shared the gospel of Jesus with me. And it was like I had an explosion from the inside out. And he was so direct, so straight, so wonderful. And yeah, big influence.
Yeah. So don't dismiss those small seeds of truth that you're sharing with others, because the right time, when their heart is ready and ripe and ready to hear it, it's life changing.
Pet
So,
peeves.
oh, I got lots of them.
Don't look at me when you say I got lots of them.
Okay.
What are the things, seriously though, because you do have lots of them, what sort of bugs you the most?
Okay, so I grew up in Texas, and I know I always say that, but I am a Texas girl at heart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, y'all. And so what drives me nuts is when uh, people are driving in the fast lane here in Minnesota, and they're not going very fast. Like they're
No,
not even going the
that's
speed limit.
no,
Because in Texas,
I correct you on that. They're going the speed limit.
No, they're
because
not.
they're in Minnesota and they like to obey the laws.
Whatever. No,
That is
in
so not
Texas,
true.
if someone is behind you and they're wanting to, go a little faster, you move out of the way. You go to the right lane. Not in Minnesota. Oh no. No, they're going to keep on going at their own speed in the left fast lane, and that drives me nuts. So you have to go up
Why
and
does
around.
that drive you nuts?
Because that's not the rules of the road. And you should ask your brother, because he used to teach driver safety. He'll know this one. We're going to ask him that one. Brad, what is the rule on that one?
Yeah. All right. So that's a
pet peeve.
I wouldn't say that's earth shattering. Now you can certainly
Well,
deal
you
with
didn't
that
say
one.
earth shattering.
No, but you
pet
can
peeve.
deal with that one. That's not one that you're going to make you pull your hair out.
I mean, world hunger is an earth shattering pet peeve.
Yeah. Right.
That shouldn't even be happening, right?
No,
don't get me on the soapbox on that.
You're
because
absolutely right. But let's keep it personal.
Oh, okay.
Into your own little life.
I don't
mean little in a
in a little puny life.
In a demeaning way. I just mean by compared, relatively speaking.
Okay. I don't like to fall into the toilet at night when you accidentally forget to put down the toilet seat. Now, you're usually pretty good at it, but I'm just saying that is the worst.
Wrong of you.
It's a pet peeve.
Because I am on a scale of 1 to 10.
No, you do really well.
When it comes to guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably a 12 in putting that dumb seat down.
You're 15.
In putting it down. I am. I'm so
but there are those moments,
sensitive and good to you in that regard.
Right.
If I don't mind saying so myself.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Pet peeves is the topic today on today's podcast.
Wendie Pet with her pet peeves. Okay, so what about you? What are your pet peeves?
So there are times when, not times, quite often throughout the day, Wendie and I will be talking. The conversation ends. I leave the room. I may be like 2 rooms away from the room that Wendie is left in. And I'll hear in the background this. It's like, are you talking to me? And it's like, okay, I left the room. I'm 2 rooms over and you're still talking to me and you're asking me questions.
Okay, but you never said you were leaving the room. I'm like putting my makeup or something. All of a sudden you like sneak out of the room. And how am I supposed to know you're gone?
Now, hang on. Typically what happens is when you see the backside of a person going away from you, that means they're leaving.
That means
for
you're
another
turning
location.
On the conversation.
No, like we've ended.
Oh no,
and then your brain thinks of something and it suddenly hits your mouth, and before you know it, it's like you don't even consider that I'm nowhere near being able to hear you.
Oh,
So
yeah. And
it's
then he's
just
like, I'm in the other
I'm
room.
in the other
But you know
room.
what? I think
And
we're
then
not alone there. How many
yeah.
other couples deal with that same thing? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
So
right.
what about an earth-shattering
No,
pet
there's
peeve?
nothing earth
Oh,
shattering,
but
but
you
this
have
one is
another pet
another
peeve.
tiny,
Okay.
tiny, tiny little one.
Does it have to do with me again?
It has to do with dinner parties.
Uh-oh.
And sometimes you and others, I'll notice. Uh, so someone is telling a story or they're explaining something, and
Oh.
all eyes are on that person, all ears are on that person, but something they say reminds you of something else. So you quickly
Squirrel.
turn away to somebody else sitting around the table and start a separate conversation.
I think
That is really
it's rude and it's
um,
wrong, and I apologize. Wow.
well,
Because
it's
I
only
just is
because
fresh. It just happened.
well, but that's the funny part about the way some brains work. It's like squirrel, and
Well, if I
you're
don't say it, I'll lose it.
that's a good point, and
Right.
that's why you speak it out, and then
Right.
you speak it out to that other person. Now there are a couple of you
That
who have
wasn't
left.
paying attention to the other person
Oh,
talking
okay, well
either.
maybe that's the problem. That is probably the problem. That's
And actually, maybe I shouldn't just say something so fast. Maybe I should just pause and think, is
mm,
this even worthy to talk about right now?
only if people can relate to that. So
Yeah.
stop it if you're doing that. Don't interrupt at a
Stop it.
dinner party,
That is a pet peeve.
and stay in the same room when you're talking.
Oh, goodness.
And
All
watch out
right.
on the road what you're doing when Wendy's around.
Because I will weave around you if you're going slow in the fast lane. Now, all right, let's keep going on some questions on this. Who do you know?
This is
Let's get to
painful.
know you. What
Okay.
is it?
No, no,
Is
it's
this
fine.
fun? I don't know. We
I
want to know. Is this fun? Go to the comments on yourbiggestbreakthrough.com and let us know. Is this fun? And subscribe, share, all that fun stuff.
okay.
That might be irritating.
To what? To remind them to do that?
Yes.
Uh, that's okay. Everybody says that. The reality is nobody gets to hear these things unless they know it's out there.
That's right. That's right. So, okay, I'm going to ask you, what do you love most about
Mm.
your life?
Oh wow, that's a great question. And
Thanks. It's on our page here.
but I haven't thought about that.
To
That's one
ask
we
guests.
ask guests, but I actually haven't thought about that at least recently. But I would say I really really I just love the season of life that I'm in right now, because there's less pressure from the I ran a business and it was a consulting firm in fundraising, and I loved doing it, but there was a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility, and I carried a lot on my back. And I love the season that I'm in because while I haven't lost any drive, I'm still just as driven. I'm driven towards other things now,
Yep.
with a real passion of mentoring men and developing online courses and those kinds of things. But I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. That's the same word, grateful and thankful.
Well,
Just
it's not the
different.
same word. It's two different
Yeah, I
words.
know. It's the same idea.
Similar meaning.
What was the question?
Oh my goodness. What do you love most
Yeah.
about your life?
I love that I'm in this season where I can literally enjoy all the things going around without a lot of pressure and tons of responsibility. And I
Except,
love that we can give ourselves more to people than things.
yes. Oh,
I
that's so true.
love the fact that my grandchildren are growing. All 12 of them are getting older by the day, and they all are. Their personalities are they're
It
so
happens
rich,
fast.
and and a couple of them are adults,
Mm.
and to interact with adult grandchildren, it's just a great thing. I love that about my life. Here's something else I really, really love about my wife. Oh, sorry.
Wife?
Oh my. Was that
Oh.
a Freudian slip? I
Oh.
love my wife. I'm so grateful.
Aw. Gosh,
You're
that's sweet.
you are so positive, and you're encouraging, and you're happy, and you're very talented and doing a lot of different things, and
Aw.
we get along. So
We really have fun, don't we?
that's really
Gosh,
a
that's really
huge,
sweet.
huge big thing in my life. Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
Things I love about
I
my
love my
wife
wife and my
could be
life
a
too.
love
No,
things I love
husband.
about my wife could be a whole podcast in and of itself.
Aw.
Not for me. I'm just saying for
Oh,
she.
but that's really sweet.
Yeah.
And yes,
All
I
right.
love
How about
you
you?
in my life.
What
It is,
about you?
you're a gift to me.
All right. With that,
And
I knew you
so
would say that. But
I know. Should we bring out like the soft romantic music and all
no,
that?
let's just
No,
move
but
on.
you're a gift, and I'm grateful. We really complement one another.
What else
But
do you love about your life?
I love that I'm in this season as well,
Yeah.
where I mean I've been doing this for over 20 years, but working with women and helping them get
Coaching.
coaching and helping them get healthy and well and
Yeah.
breaking through barriers mentally and spiritually, physically.
Yeah.
I love it. I love hearing um, that they've gotten off medication and they've, turned their life around and they feel good and they're no longer in aches and pains and just all the things. I love that. I
Yeah.
love the
You truly do.
ahas of working with them with Visibly Fit. I do. But I love that we get to travel. I've got this adventurous spirit, and I always have. Back in the day, I actually used to work for a tour operator, Adventure Tours, and that was when I was in Texas. And oh my goodness, I have just had the travel bug for as long as I can remember. And we just get to travel, and I don't mean that in a bragging way. Like, I'm just grateful that we're in the season that we can go and do.
Well, you and I always we have a discussion when we're out on a trip somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's just like a ton of pictures that are being taken.
I know.
And lots of them are selfies. And then pretty soon they're ending up on social media.
And it drives Todd nuts. He's like, oh my goodness, please don't put all that up there.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, wow.
And I do anyway.
It's like,
not all of them,
do
but
people really
care?
Are they going to, well, do they care? But also are some people going to feel like, wow, I wish I had the life where I could travel that much. We're kind of rubbing it in.
No, it's not.
Faces.
No, I think people are. It's up to them how they choose to receive that. I really put it up there so my mom can see our trip. If you want to know the truth,
you could text her the picture.
Oh my goodness, there's a lot of photos.
I'll help you with that.
So, but others get to see it too, and hopefully be inspired and smile and find the joy in our adventures too.
I think
that's what I see it.
I think there probably going to be lots of listeners who would agree with you. It's good to share those kinds of moments.
I love seeing other people's
tips and travels, not tips, but I mean our travels and our fun, our vacations and all that stuff. And I, again, I'm on the other side of the fence on that one. Okay. Anybody with me? I'm just curious. Just comment like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I don't need a thumbs up when I, climb Mount Everest.
Oh, is that coming up? Are you training for?
Believe me, that would go on social media. But
okay.
But I did do the Himalayas, and a lot of that ended up
on social media.
Not really.
Oh, yes,
a little bit of it.
Okay, wait. You're talking out two sides of your mouth.
I do that well, don't I? Have very flexible cheeks.
I didn't want to post, but I'm going to post.
So that transitions us into something else.
Oh, what? Another pet peeve?
No, accomplishments, things you're happy about, glad for, proud about, things that you've accomplished in your life. Okay, so I'll tell mine since I was on that subject.
Oh my goodness. Didn't you just ask me?
No, because this was sort of a segue because we were talking about climbing Mount Everest.
Okay, go ahead. Dear.
I did not climb Mount Everest. I would like to. I hope it's not too late for me. But I did. I traveled to the Himalayas.
Yes.
And I was with a bunch of guys, and we called ourselves the Extreme Team, because this was not just a tourist vacation, hiking, climbing venture.
You talked about this in one of the episodes, actually.
Well, I'm going to talk about it again.
Okay,
because I feel like this is one of those accomplishments that I can give God all the credit for.
Absolutely.
I had to do my part.
And it's an amazing accomplishment.
I had to train like a crazy man for 4 months because I did not want to get left in the dust by all these younger guys going on the trip, because we were going to have some pretty rigorous climbs ahead of us. Why? Because for whatever reason, people in this part of the world decided to make little tiny villages tucked away in these mountains. You cannot get there
unless you hike
by vehicle, or I mean, you could maybe ride a mountain goat up there, but yeah. So we literally were taking the gospel of Jesus Christ to some hidden peoples throughout these regions in the Himalayas. And I felt just so honored that God entrusted that to me and the other guys that went with me. And to this day, I will probably always look back, and that is one of the better highlights and accomplishments in my life. So thankful.
No, that's
How about
so
you,
good.
Wendy?
Oh goodness!
Wow. One of your bigger accomplishments, something that you feel good about.
Well, I'm proud of my son.
That's an accomplishment.
It is,
undoubtedly.
Honestly, I actually just had someone. I don't know. We were having a conversation, and she's like, "You know what? We were in a mastermind together like 15 years ago, and I remember that was the thing that you said you're most proud of is your son." And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm very proud
you
to be his
done good,
mom.
Mama, because that boy turned out really good.
I know.
Where is he
in the
right
Space
now?
Force right now.
Wait, stop for a moment.
What?
The Space Force.
Nanu,
who goes into this?
I feel like doing
like the Space Force. I never heard of the Space Force until about like 6-8 months ago.
I know,
because it's a brand new branch of the military, part of the Air Force.
It is, and supposedly,
man, it's cool.
Supposedly, Keegan is the first one recruited out of Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that's super.
Yeah.
I'm just so
Something to be
proud of
proud
him.
of. Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my favorite accomplishments, but also just how God has allowed me and entrusted me to work with women and to be on different media platforms, from television that is not just in the US, but worldwide, and writing books and have DVDs and podcasts, and I just feel so blessed, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So those
Any
are
other
accomplishments? Well, I have a lot.
I do too.
I mean,
I
what
just want to bust out with all of them, but no,
you want to bust out with a dance instead?
No, that would be accomplishment of yours. You were a dance instructor.
You know what? Actually, okay, I got one. Okay, so I tried out for Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders way back when. I was 18.
Yeah.
And made it. And then I got kicked off.
Why did you get kicked off?
Well, actually, here's what happened. They brought on 4 girls more than they normally do, because it was such a big year that year.
Yeah.
And we got fitted for our uniforms. We went on the field and we cheered. I think it was a preseason game or whatever, and they decided that it was one too many at each corner, and so they cut us. And I got cut because they said my ribs were too big. Yeah, seriously, my ribs too big. And then
didn't they realize that meant more room for your lungs to expand?
That's what I tried to tell them.
Incredibly acrobatic, difficult cheers where you take those pom-poms and go, yay, team.
You know what?
Yay,
I think God spared me. I was so devastated, but I think God spared me because he knew I was worth more than just $15 a home game. And he had me going in different directions.
And he didn't want you gawked at, especially with big ribs. I mean,
but yeah, but it was still an accomplishment, And I met one of my dear friends, and we used to be roommates, and it was just a fun journey.
I did a bodybuilding contest.
You did?
Years ago. I didn't enter into a competition.
A competition, yeah. Body for life. That's right.
Where hundreds of us were,
that's right.
In that.
All right. And then I did. No, I'm just kidding.
I did the Global Food Crisis.
That's right.
That marathon fundraiser.
Yes.
1,000 radio stations all tied in on the same day.
That was pretty cool.
To raise money in 2009 during the global food crisis. And so grateful for that opportunity. It's like the brag sheet right now.
Yep. All
right. Raised
over
$18 million. No, but here's something I do want to ask you, because
what?
You didn't know this one was coming.
No, I didn't know any of it was coming, actually.
Where did it go? Hang on a second. These are, again, questions that we ask our guests. Here it is.
What?
So what's the best piece of advice that anyone has ever given you?
Oh.
Best piece of advice.
Huh.
Now, I want our listeners to think about that too for just a moment.
Yeah.
So what's the best piece of advice that you received in your life?
That's a great question, because just like, best influencer, there's been a lot that has been shared my way that has made a big difference.
Well, everybody's going to say that.
But no, I mean, there really has. But I think some of it is just do it anyway, because the person that told me understands my tendency to fall into perfectionism. And it's do it anyway. Do it anyway.
Even if
you fail, even if it looks ugly, even if just do it anyway, because that's how you grow. That's how you learn. That's how you become humbled. I mean, all the things. Yeah. Just do it anyway.
It's very good.
I mean, if it's what God's called you to do, and it's a good thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That could go a different direction.
Tad bit of a qualifier on that. Make sure it's good.
Right.
Yeah. So, I want to think about that, because
and not to compare yourself to others too. That was another
good piece of advice.
Yeah.
I think probably the best piece of advice that resonates deep inside my head, comes off my lips once in a while, not just for me, but for each member of our family, was from my dad, this was his favorite go-to line: "Son, use your common sense." I keep hearing that because when you face certain decisions, we really have to look at them from a pragmatic viewpoint, right? And God has really gifted us with common sense, where you can analyze something and you don't have to go all woo-woo crazy. And I do believe there are times where the Holy Spirit will lead you to do something that will not
make sense.
Exactly.
That's true.
But overall, by and large,
but do it anyway.
Yeah, do it anyway. There you go. Exactly. By and large, use your common sense. It's a lot easier. You don't have to, kind of spend all kinds of time seeking out counsel and praying it through and wringing your hands and wondering, is this the right thing? Just, just lean on what God has already given you, your common sense.
Right. I think that is the Holy Spirit, your common sense.
He will use your common sense. That
yeah,
is true.
no, that's good. All right. So what is, I know we were kind of doing the little brag sheet and some of those things. What?
How long is this going to go? I'm just curious.
I don't
I'm getting really
know.
hungry.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
how long have we been going?
Not very long. Are y'all done with us yet? Actually, you know what would be super fun?
No.
If we ever want to do a show like this again, go to yourbiggestbreakthrough.com. In the comments, what are some questions you'd like to know about your hosts, Todd and Wendie? I mean, seriously, if we do a show like this again, maybe there's like a specific question and we can have a lot of fun with it. And we'll mention your name on the air, that this is your question, and we'll answer it.
All right.
All right. How about that?
Good deal. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we've been talking, we had a little bit of the brag sheet going on. So there's some things that people don't realize about both of us, but
because the reality is
nobody cares.
One of the things I'm most proud about is that I truly am a very humble person, and I don't like having to display all my accomplishments.
Oh, please.
I'm so sorry.
No, you actually are.
Don't you want to smack me when I do that? Like, I want to smack me.
Yeah, but you make a big show. He actually is very humble.
I'm not that humble.
No, you are. You are.
Thanks for saying
I mean,
that. That was not like
that's part of your act, that you're not humble, but yet you are. That's okay.
Oh, okay. All right. What's the next question?
All right. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. Mm-hmm. What is one word or phrase that could sum up the entirety of who you are?
4-wheel drive.
Okay.
That's not one word, but it's a phrase.
Like, okay, built Ford tough. I mean,
4-wheel drive. You think about 4-wheel drive, it will just keep going. It will persevere. It will just grind it out. And I feel like much of my life I've had my eye on something, and I've been hit sideways and from the top down, and earthquakes and all of that. And God has enabled me to just keep going forward. It's like 4-wheel drive. You just keep going. You just don't stop. I think that's
good. That's really good. Unless you're in Breckenridge and you're in a Jeep and you're in 4-wheel drive and you're going on the rocks and all up and down the mountain. And all of a sudden I'm like, something sounds a little funny.
You mean it was the flat tire?
The flat tire that we had in 4-wheel drive.
Well, that's a perfect illustration.
It only caused a pause.
Right.
Yes.
So, and what do you do when you've got a problem like that?
You
stop,
solve the problem.
You fix it,
and you keep going. On. Good.
But that problem over there bogged down in the sand on Fraser Island also.
Oh, we did that.
Wow, we had some experiences.
Okay, Fraser Island, you guys.
Oh, man,
that's super cool.
Rabbit trail.
Okay, I know, but this is super cool. It's the largest, this is in Australia.
Yeah.
It's the largest sand island in the world.
Yeah, which is really weird to me.
And there's like wild dingoes that one of them like tried to attack me.
Oh,
remember
that?
Didn't
try to attack you.
Yeah, he did. He was going underneath the Jeep. I had to hurry and get in, and you locked the doors. It was horrible.
I figured you're going to learn your lesson, woman.
Because you can't take food on your hikes with you. And I think I had something.
The dingoes will get you.
The dingy dingoes. Yes.
Now, let's go back to this being like an all sand island.
Yeah.
So we really needed to do more research on that, because some people are it's kind of like, okay, that doesn't make any sense, because it was like a big pile of sand that comes up from the ocean, and this is like a sand mountain.
Well, wait a minute.
Huh?
Most islands
is it a sand bar?
Sand bar.
You think?
Yeah.
That means the water around is real shallow.
You know what?
You and I
have
no
idea.
Yeah. So like, I'm never going to say again, the world's largest sand island.
Well, that's what it says on their T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Got the T-shirt.
How did we get off on that?
Because I do those squirrel things.
I know, but what were we talking about?
We were talking about
what
4-wheel drive.
Yeah,
4-wheel drive. See, I can bring it back.
Actually, it was a toss-up for me. I have to say this.
Okay.
Because if I look back, I think at my funeral, people are going to say, they're not going to say, like, here was 4-wheel drive. You just kept going, real persevere. That'll maybe be a side comment, but I hope that people will say, no, I'm not even going to say it.
Oh, why? Because now they're going to feel obligated to say it?
No. No, he put the Lord first.
Yeah.
But
that's true. That's true.
I attempt that. I try to stay aware of that, all of that. But I don't want to talk too much about that, because
like, you're even teary-eyed at the moment.
Thing. So anyhow,
no, it's so true. And I know your heart.
What's the one word or phrase that could sum up the entirety of who you are? Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, did I just
that's
whisper
so
it?
good. Okay, and that just showed up on an episode that we had recently.
So what I just
Um,
said was revealer healer.
Revealer Healer.
Yeah.
Now that might make me cry because that is the name that God put in my spirit and on my mind many times over in a dream. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's what
So
He's
can you?
allowed me to do, is
Yeah.
to allow others the opportunity to reveal what's going on in their life and be healed of it.
Mm.
And so it's a privilege. And actually, yeah, we had Barbie Breathitt on a recent episode. So go check that out because
Oh,
she is
so
a
good.
Christian dream interpreter.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. Those are out there. And she is the real deal. And she puts everything in line with God's word.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that would
Encouraging.
definitely summarize, characterize who you are,
Yeah, revealer,
and you're
healer.
an
Thank you.
encourager too.
Thank you.
Both
Thank
are.
you.
All right.
Well,
So
go ahead.
one more question, and then we wrap it up.
Okay. What is your
Sir,
favorite sporting
no,
event?
no, no. What is one thing that most people don't realize about you?
We've already been talking about all those things.
Well, give me another one.
Nobody knows any of this stuff really.
Well, yeah,
Um,
no, because people they look at you, they listen to you, they engage with you, and they draw conclusions because they don't know
what do you think
everything
that they're
about you.
concluding?
I think they're concluding she's a wonderful person. I could go on and on. You know that. No, she's an
She's an
encourager. She
airhead.
smiles a lot. No, she smiles a lot. She's very friendly. She she's very easy to engage with.
Yeah.
All of that. But something that most people don't know, something that you do. It's either it's a habit. It's a well, like your baton thing,
Oh yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
is.
I
Something
actually okay,
different.
baton thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so I used to teach dance, tap, jazz, ballet, and baton. That's
Mm.
right. And I started taking dance when I was 3 years old, and taught all in high school, and then continued on outside of high school, and then
Yeah.
even
So a lot of
as an
people not.
adult,
Yeah, they don't know that about you.
tap. I was
They do
tapping
not.
the other day in the bathroom, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
You found your tap
I
shoes.
did, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
So I love dance. I could turn on any music
Hmm.
and dance. And sometimes you make fun of me. You like suck your cheeks in and do
Oh,
this little thing like,
well,
and
there are
I'm like, I don't do that.
there's certain things that a lot of women do the same on a dance floor.
But that is
They
no,
they make this
that's a
expression.
stereotype.
If you're watching YouTube, you agree with me or not? Is it kind of like this?
Ooh, don't do that face ever again. Stop it. Stop it.
It's sort of where they suck the sides of their cheeks in, and they can't help, and their lips have to go apart a little bit. And it's just kind of
Oh no, I've never even
you're not
no.
that extreme, but I've seen extreme ones. Not that I hang out on dance floors because that's the
Yeah,
last
right.
place that I want to go. I promise you.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fun.
All right, that's
Well,
true.
one
Most people do
people,
not know one people do not know that about you. Not two people do not know that. Then there will be three if three people listen to the
I
podcast.
think we're done.
What about me?
Oh, I think we've learned a lot.
That's true. All right. Well,
Okay, what is one thing that people don't know about you? Oh, I
I
know, I know.
appeared.
No. Oh, what are you gonna say?
I appeared
Oh, I got one.
on stage.
With Chubby Checker. I did. I did the twist with Chubby Checker.
Why did you have to do that?
What?
Because you've sort of
I've taken it away. Okay,
you've
go.
diverted it from. You hardly remember this. Years ago, I appeared on stage in the opera with Beverly Sills and Jerome Hines.
Who? No, I'm just kidding.
For those of you who may not know, they were like world famous
Yeah,
opera singers, and I was on the same stage with them in the opera
that's right.
years ago.
That's right.
I was an extra standing on the side. Nevertheless, I was in the opera
That's right.
with those two. So
That's
that's
super
one
cool.
thing most people don't know.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, let's go back to Chubby Checker really quick. So it was in Tahoe, and I mentioned I used to work for Adventure Tours way back when, and I was
Chubby
taking
Checker is the twist guy.
yeah, do the twist.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I had a group of ladies that I was in charge of as a young adult, which was I could probably write a book on all these stories alone. Probably about 15 ladies that were just going nuts. We were seeing Chubby Checker in concert or whatever. And he says, "Who wants to come up here and do the twist?" Well, they all point at me. And next thing you know, he pulls me up on stage and I'm doing the twist with Chubby Checker. It was great. And then I get our entire group to go backstage with Chubby Checker, and we're in his little room, hanging out, laughing, and I don't know. And I got another one.
Man, no, now
I
we're gonna
met
wrap it up
Michael
here.
Jordan when I was pregnant with
Okay,
Keegan.
Michael Jordan,
and his hands are huge. I shook his hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, and then
Oh
I'm just
my
kidding.
goodness! Wow.
Okay, we could have a whole show just on famous people that we've
That
stumbled
you
across.
could care less about.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes. So, all right.
Because
There's
we
a
are all
little.
famous in our Father's eyes. Oh, that's a song, and that's good. That was a squirrel moment.
That's a good place to end, though, because you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Sometimes we really underestimate and we overlook how precious we are.
That's right.
In God's sight. But she said, "You don't know me. I'm just not. I'm so far from being good. That's not what God is measuring you by.
No, He knows
He's
your
measuring
heart.
you by His own love for you. Period.
Yep.
That's it.
You are famous in your Father's eyes, and
Yeah.
so are we. And we appreciate you. Thanks for just joining this podcast and having a little fun with us today. But we'll see you next time. We will have a guest on next week's podcast, so don't go away. As far as from
I'm never going to listen again. I don't want to hear about those two.
But subscribe and like and leave us a comment so we can maybe do another show like this. We'd love to answer your questions at yourbiggestbreakthrough.com. Yeah. All right, make it a great day.